Hi folks, I am the Carb Addiction Doc, and there is so much noise on the internet about dairy. Dairy is good for you, dairy is bad for you, don't do dairy, it triggers this. Absolute evangelical bullshit based on opinion, not fact. Dairy is one of the healthiest foods you can ever consume, except under 3 circumstances. And I'm going to go through those 3 circumstances. But remember this about dairy, okay? Number 1, the entire healthcare nutrition system about recommendations and everything else for humans is based on the components of dairy. In 1927, a laboratory either in Germany or the UK analyzed what was in dairy, and they used that as the foundation of the dietary recommendations we give to people. So we took dairy, we broke it down into its individual components, and we said these are the recommendations for human beings, and it's been modified since that time. Certainly modified by industrial agenda and by lipophobia. But that is the origination of RDA, number 1. Number 2 is, if you think about it, no mammal can survive. No mammal survives without dairy. And dairy, liquid dairy, is a sole food source. It's 100% of what every mammal consumes at a time when their growth velocity is the fastest it'll ever be for their entire life. In other words, in those first few weeks or months of life. So dairy is the most complete nutrition out there. Oh, but we're adults, we don't need dairy. Well, yeah, that argument may be true, but what we're trying to do is emulate what is in dairy with the food that we eat, which is fine. So here are the 3 reasons, the only 3 reasons why dairy is no. Number 1, a true dairy allergy, which is a milk protein, a whey protein or a casein protein, true anaphylactic allergy. Not just some little scratch test that says, your immune system reacts to it, you turned a little bit red. That is ridiculous. That's your body saying, hey, I see you, dairy. I'm going to make sure you're okay, but I'm not going to destroy you. I'm not going to destroy the being because you consume dairy. But whey protein and casein protein is fairly common. Allergy is fairly common, but it needs to be severe before you use allergy as the reason you don't do it. Because otherwise, pretty much everybody that ever got tested for dairy allergies is going to be told they're allergic to it. The easiest way to find out is do the test. Drink it or eat it and see what happens. So, lactose intolerance is not an allergy. There are a very few tiny subset of people who truly have a lactase enzyme deficiency. It's a genetic condition, and they truly are dairy intolerant. But the majority of people have just down-regulated the lactase enzyme. And as you slowly reintroduce dairy into your diet, you can recruit that enzyme. And when you are breaking the milk sugars, the glucose and galactose down, that's what lactose does, or lactase enzyme does. All that rumbling, all that grumbling, all the noise goes away. So the first reason to stay away from dairy, if you have a true, absolutely documentable allergy, not some little scratch test, or I don't feel so good. The second one, though, pairs up with that. If you don't like dairy, there's just a lot of people out there that just don't like dairy, and they don't like the way it makes them feel. No issue there. If you don't like something, don't do it. And then the third reason, and the main reason why I severely restrict or limit my dairy, I don't negate it, but I limit it, is because I'm a fat guy. And dairy will cause growth. Dairy will cause weight gain, and it will cause growth because that's what it's designed to do. All the nutrients, all the fat, the sugar, the starch is designed to be a complete diet. Instead of buying protein shakes and that kind of, I'm going to buy my protein shake because it's, have a glass of milk. Have a glass of milk. And if there's one thing that we can do in the next 4 years, if there's one thing we can do all over the country in the next 4 years, is to unban raw dairy. And even if you're worried about raw dairy, what does raw dairy mean? It means it came straight out of the cow and was not pasteurized. Pasteurization is heating dairy up. Yes, it denatures some of the proteins, but it also kills potentially any bugs in there. Louis Pasteur did that when cowpox was a big issue. Okay? So legalizing either raw dairy that is now more cleanly harvested with machines rather than humans' dirty hands, or legalizing full cream milk that is pasteurized. In this country, in the USA, it is not legal to sell full cream milk to humans because fat is so bad for us. So what they do is before they milk the cow, they remove the fat, and we call that heavy whipping cream. And then in this country, we call it whole milk. Well, whole milk is fat-reduced milk that has been pasteurized. I can buy marijuana on any street corner legally in the state of Florida, but I cannot buy raw milk for myself. I cannot buy pasteurized full cream milk for myself. That is ridiculous. And I'm hoping that over the next 3 to 4 years, that simple thing will be reversed so that we are able to buy full cream dairy, whether it is raw or whether it is pasteurized. But the only 3 reasons not to drink dairy, if you're a fat guy and you're worried about weight loss because it will cause some weight gain, but the benefits are tremendous in the micronutrients and macronutrients in the right proportion. If you just don't like dairy, or if you have a true allergy to dairy protein. That's it. Don't listen to anybody on the internet that says adults mustn't be drinking dairy, blah, 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 blah. You shouldn't do. Shouldn't is not a reason to not drink dairy. I am the Carb Addiction Doc. Leave discussion points. Leave comments. Argue with me about that. If you don't like dairy, don't drink it. But it's enormously valuable as a nutrient that is fully comprehensive.